In recent time, I have actually discovered that we creatives spend a lot of time overthinking the whole design process whenever we are being asked to work on any design project. And one of their major challenges has to do with coming up with a design style for the project, or coming up with a design layout, or the use of colors on the design project. Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. You're welcome to YJ Digital World. I am your host, Agu Joseph. On this video, I'll be sharing with you how you can create simplicity on your design project. So for illustration purpose, I'll be creating a church flyer design for illustration purpose. Please, if this actually sounds interesting to you and you're new to the channel, please do well to smash the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content like this on my channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys for always watching. So without further ado, let's dive into the design phase. In order for me to create this design, I have to create a Canva workspace on which I'll be designing on. And over here, I'm currently on my Photoshop interface, and I would like to click on the Create New over here. And over here, we have the new document panel that actually comes up. In order for me to create a design, I have to create a Canva, and I intend to create a Canva workspace for social media platforms like Instagram and other web platforms as well. So I'll be setting this using the Instagram portrait frame size, which is 1080 pixels. The unit should be set on pixels to 1350 pixels. Resolution can be set on 300, and the color mode remains on RGB to be precise, because I intend to use this content across all social media platforms. Then you can choose to give your project a name over here and leave other settings the way they are, and click on the Create button. So over here we have the Canva workspace on which I'll be designing on. The next thing I would like to do here is to drag in the resource files I'll be using for this tutorial purpose. So over here I have the exercise files I'll be using for this tutorial. Do well to check the video description. You'll find the link to the resource files in the video description. So in the first phase of the design composition here has to do with creating of our background. And over here I've created the color palette I intend to use in creating this design, and I would like to place it along somewhere here like this. So moving on, the next thing I would like to do is to select the background layer over here and create a solid fill color by sampling this color along this part here, and click on the OK button. So the next thing I would like to do is to create a fill for the background. How do I go about this? I don't have any element I'll be using for that, but I can pick a particular region of the face of the character pastor here to actually fill up this design Canva. So I'll pick the lasso tool over here and make a quick selection of the head region like this. Okay, hit Ctrl J to make a duplicate. Take this layer directly beneath the pastor's image, turn off the pastor's layer. Okay, hit Ctrl T to transform it out, scale it out. Okay, and fill it up into your Canva and click on the check. Make sure this is still selected. Head over to your filter all the way to pixels, pixelate, and all the way to masses, and click on this. So you can actually play with the actual dimension manually. Okay, and click on the OK button if you're actually satisfied. Hit Ctrl T to transform, scale this down. Okay, and you can choose to place this like this, or scale this further out again and place this like this. Click on the check button, and we'll have to blend this texture into this. So I'll change the blending mode by using a blending mode that will work perfectly well, such as this will actually work perfectly well. So I'll hit Ctrl T, make my adjustment again, and place it in this way like this. That is in terms of this. So moving on, I would like to enable the pastor character image over here. Before working on the pastor character image over here, I always advise to convert your character image by right clicking and converting it to a smart object. By doing so, it enables you to maintain the image quality whenever you actually scale it up or scale it down without losing its original quality. So I can hit Ctrl T to scale it down, to transform and scale it down, and position it around somewhere here like this. So I can scale this and place it around somewhere here like this. Okay, this is aligned to the middle. Click on the check button. Moving on, I'll head over to add more depth to this image because this image is very flat. So I'll head over to the filter and enable the camera raw filter. So currently we are in the camera raw, and in the camera raw here I would like to enable the before and after so that I have a good preview of how the image was looking like before and afterwards. So basically here I will be working on the basics, okay, under the tools here. Please take note that when working with these particular tools, there are no rules governing this. It is more of an eyeballing situation. You allow your eyes to actually guide you to know when you are over applying a particular adjustment. So I like to boost up the exposure a little bit like this. Okay, it's okay for me. I like to work on the contrast as well by enhancing the contrast like this. Okay, likewise the highlights, I would like to reduce the highlights. The shadow, I would like to enhance the depth of lighting in the shadow region. Okay, so slow and steady and you get your results. White, I need to also scale down this white. I notice there is high value of white on this region, so I need to take this down completely. Okay, moving on, I need to work on the black by adjusting the black a little bit. The texture, I will be taking this all the way to the top. Okay, and the clarity can be enhanced a little bit. Okay, so that's for this. So moving on, I would like to scroll down to where I have details, and on details here I'll be working on the sharpening. So for the sharpening here, I like to add more depth to the image. You can see the preview on the after screen over here, and I would like to work on the noise by adjusting this a little bit like this. So I think that's for that. Here is the before and here is the after. So moving on, I'll click on the OK button. So here we have the image and we have worked on it. So the next thing I'd like to do is to still make a little changes to this by using the edit, by using the image over here on the menu, slide over to adjustment and apply the black and white option. Over here on the black and white option, I would like to actually scale down this way like this to, I think around something like this is okay. You can see the effect on the face of the character. Likewise for this, the yellows can be brightened up. That will serve as light. Okay, so the red here is actually playing the role of shadows, and this is actually playing the role of highlights. Okay, so I click on the OK button for that. So that is in terms of doing that. So moving on, I'd like to place in other design elements I'll be using for this design. Likewise this, I'd like to Ctrl T to transform this out and make sure it is centered to the middle. Okay, and I would like to enable the color palette. So for this, I would like to change its fill color. I want to work with the colors I have here. So I'll head over to the adjustments all the way to Hue and Saturation. Okay, click on the clip marks, click on the hand icon over here to sample the color from the tag image here, and adjust this way like this to change its fill color, and you can choose to enhance its saturation. It all depends on what value you intend to give to it. I think this is before and this is after. That is in terms of that. So moving on, the next thing we'll have to do is to start placing other design elements such as text and other information. So I'll have to turn on the logo of the church over here and scale it out like this. Okay, and place it along somewhere here like this. But before we get started, I would like to place in my guide. The guide enables me to create a good design structure, thereby controlling the eye movement of my target audience. Okay, so I'll head over to view and head over to new guides layout over here, And here are the parameters I use in setting up this guide over here. So I'll click on the OK button, select the logo, hit Ctrl T, can scale it out a little and place this, make sure it is well aligned. Okay, that is in terms of that. So moving on, I'll dive into placing in the text. So the first set of information we'll be placing here has to do with the join us to this text over here. So I'll hit Ctrl T to transform this out, check, okay. And after we are done with that, we'll make sure this is actually aligned to the middle like this. Okay, trying to make proper structuring over here. So for this, I would like to cut this out, okay, and check. For this, I am making use of a font called Gotham, and this is set under the style of medium to be precise. Okay, that is in terms of that. So for this, I would like to paste in this text over here. Click on the check button. For this, I would like to change the font to a font called Bebas. Okay, Bebas is the name of the font I intend to use. So I'd like to adjust the tracking like this, that is the space between text on the horizontal axis. Ctrl T to transform this out. Okay, check and change the alignment option to the middle. Okay, after you are done, you can change the fill color by sampling the color over here. Here is the hex code for the color as well. And head over to your character panel. If you can't actually find yours over here, you can enable it from the windows over here. Okay, so I would like to adjust the space between the text on the vertical axis, which is called the leadings. The space between text on the vertical axis are called leadings. So I would like to adjust the leadings this way and make sure this is properly aligned. Ctrl T, transform this out. Okay, like this. So take this down like this and we are good to go. Bring the tag. You can choose to group this together. Select both layers. Select the first layer, hold shift, select the last layer. Hit Ctrl G to group it, and you can actually give it a name of your choice. So thereby enabling you organizing your layers while working on Photoshop. So here I'll take this over here and pick my text to copy out this line of text and head over to somewhere here, paste in this text here, change the fill color for this to white, and all you have to do is to take this above the group layer for the tag. Okay, so all I have to do is to come to this tag here, hold Ctrl on my keyboard, and mouse pointer changes to where I have the tag layer here. Hold Ctrl, left click to make a quick selection of this shape. Make sure this is now selected, that is the text layer is selected. Pick the move tool, align this horizontally and vertically into the space. Ctrl D to deselect, Ctrl T to transform, and you can then scale this into this perfectly well like this. You can still choose to return it to its previous color if it can actually help with contrast. So it all depends on what you want to actually do. Let me try this and see what works. Okay, and choose to leave this on this fill and change its style, or apply the flux and bows on this, and we are good to go. So moving on, I would like to place in the rider text for this design. Okay, that is for this. So I'll come over here, paste in this text over here, and for this I intend to use the font called Montserrat. Okay, this is one of the ways we creative go about creating contrast in our design, by scaling down the size and playing with colors. Okay, for this I'll place this like this. Okay, change its fill color to white. White will work perfectly well. Then I would like to create contrast. I've created contrast in terms of size. I need to create contrast as well in terms of size between these two texts as well, making emphasis to be on the Bible verse. Okay, so I'll create this like this, and I can still change the fill this way. These are other ways you can use to create contrast in your design as well. And make sure this is actually aligned to the middle. Okay, so you can do select all. Okay, pick your move to align this to the middle, go back to select and deselect. Ctrl D is the keyboard shortcut to deselect. So moving on, you can choose to select these two texts over here, which is the date and time for the event, and paste it over here. Hit Ctrl T to scale it down. I can still create contrast over here as well. So I can choose to change this to white, to a fill of white, and at the same time create contrast by picking a value of yellow over here. Okay, you can still change contrast by working on this as well. Selecting this first. Let me change the fill for this. And finally, I like to change the font for the whole text to Montserrat. Okay, and I'll set this on regular. Okay, let me set this on medium, for example, so that you can see this text properly. So I can create contrast by making this be on bold, create contrast as well by making this be on bold as well. Click on the check button. That is in terms of that. You can still narrow down the space between the text if you intend to do that by applying the tracking over here. Okay, let me adjust this a little. Okay, that is in terms of that. Okay, so moving on, the next thing I would like to do is to actually create contrast in terms of this as well. So I'll take out the name of the church and its location. Okay, so I'll paste it in here, check, change the font to Montserrat. That's the font I'll be using for the other body line of text. So for this, I'll change this to regular. For the first line of text, I would like to change this to bold. Okay, and change its fill to this value of yellow, and we are good to go. For the other line of text, I would like to change its fill to white, thereby maintaining structure in your design. So click on the check, hit Ctrl T to transform, scale this down like this, and you can choose to place it around somewhere here like this. So pick your move tool. The final part has to do with placing in the name of the pastor. Okay, so first thing first, I would like to actually get the name of the pastor out. Okay, so I'll paste it in here, and I would like to change its font to Montserrat as well. Okay, for this I'll create emphasis or create contrast as well as usual for that. Okay, while for this I would like to set this on regular and change its fill to white. Okay, for this I would like to change its fill to yellow. I'm trying to create contrast. Okay, head over to your character panel, adjust the space between the text like this manually. Okay, I think that's for that. So I'll hit Ctrl T, scale this down like this, and we are good to go. So finally, I would like to create a shape on which I'll be placing in this the name of the pastor or the host. So I'll come over here, right click on this and select the ellipse tool, left click, holding shift to drag out like this. Okay, so after you're done creating that shape, I would like to change its fill color. So I'll double click where I have the ellipse on the layer panel and sample a color over here and adjust it to a darker value like this. Okay, for this I would like to change its blending mode to hard light. okay, and make a duplicate of it by hitting Ctrl J on the keyboard, Ctrl T to transform, scale this out like this, check. Okay, for this, make sure the shape tool layer is still selected, turn off the fill, okay, and enable the stroke. Okay, so for the stroke, I intend to use the same value of yellow and increase the size of the stroke like this. So moving on, I'd like to change it blending mode, so I think this will work perfectly well in terms of that. So after I'm done, I'll take this in here like this and make sure that this is directly above the shape layer. So I'll select these two and take them directly above like this. Okay, so moving on, I'd like to start grouping my layers. So I'll select this, hold shift, select this, hit Ctrl G, and call this BG, which stands for the background. This is the pastor image, this is the logo, this is the color palette. I think I don't need the palette anymore. Okay, so let me get rid of it. Okay, and what else? I like to structure my group, so I can select this all the way to here like this and group them together. I can call this info. Okay, take this into this the same group. I'm trying to organize the layers, so I can call this info. Okay, thereby organizing your layers properly, so you will know where each particular element is being located. Okay, so scale this down like this. Okay, so I can hold Control, make a quick selection of this. Holding Control, the mouse pointer changes to a hand icon like this. We have the ellipse layer 1. Okay, and select this layer, pick your move to align horizontally and vertically into the shape. Ctrl D to deselect. For this particular line of text called width, you can actually copy it out, and the next thing you do, you paste it here. I would like to change the text to another font called Autograph. That's the name of the font. So this is the name of the font. Autograph Personnel is the name of the font. So I will change the fill to the same fill as this. Okay, and all I have to do is to add the flux emboss on it. Ctrl T, scale this down again, and place this into this like this, but this is not being seen. Okay, I would like to change it to a value whereby you can actually see the text. So I would like to change the fill to a brighter value of white like this. Okay, and take this out like this. Okay, so that is in terms of that. So moving on, I would like to select this layer here all the way to here. Okay, and adjust its position like this. Ctrl H to hide your guide. Okay, select your ribbon. You can actually scale it down furthermore so that the actual text here can be seen properly. Okay, so select both layers with the day of text. Okay, adjust the position so that this text here cannot be misunderstood for another particular line of text. So I think this is okay like this. So after you're done with this, you can choose to take your project a step further, okay, by applying the color lookups over here. You can select from the list of presets that comes with your Photoshop and apply it and see the one that actually helps the look of your design project. Okay, so guys, you can see that I didn't actually do much. I just picked some set of colors I intend to use and implement it. Likewise, the background, I got the background from my image. Okay, I can actually get background from any part of any element I'm using in my design. So you don't actually need to overthink some of these things. The colors, you can actually get them yourself. If you're finding it difficult to combine colors or use colors, do well to check the video description. I have actually created a video on how to use colors and combine colors. You can do well to check it out. If you're also having issues with layout, how to come up with layouts, design layouts, you can also check a video on my description. I'll be attaching the link on where to source for ideas for design layout, inspirational websites I do use to source out design ideas. Okay, so without further ado, we have come to the end of this video, guys. So please, if you do find this content helpful, do well to smash the like button. Do well to smash the like button, guys. If you're new to the channel and you have not yet subscribed, please do well to smash the subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell to get a notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. Please do well to drop comments in the comment section. Do well to drop your thoughts on this video in the comment section. And likewise, you can also share this content with other creatives around you, other designers around you. Okay, and see you in the next.